Joining me now is New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. And you say a nuclear Iran is not an option.
It is not an option. I mean, we have to clearly understand that. This is what happens when you have bad foreign policy. And the foreign policy of the past administration was of appeasement. The foreign policy of the past administration was literally to unfreeze assets, try to give Iran money so that they wouldn't go forward with their nuclear program. That wasn't happening. They are an aggressive nation. They believe in death to America, death to Israel, and we need to make sure that they don't move forward with their nuclear program, because if they do, we're going to have really big problems. So we need to support Israel. Israel will take care of business. At the end of the day, we'll be in a better place.
I'm wondering about regime change and whether or not that could be a reality at some point. The people were rising up in Iran thinking that maybe this could be the start of that.
You know, I wish it would. There are many Iranian people that are tired of this, that want a better future for their nation. I've been around long enough that I remember in the days when we had intelligent, good leadership in Iran, and of course, that was overthrown at the time. That would be a wonderful thing to see. We can only hope. Nobody has a crystal ball. But what we do know is we have to make sure that we protect America, that Israel is able to protect itself, and that we protect American assets.
Meanwhile, let me switch gears. The Senate Finance Committee expected to release its text of the big, beautiful bill coming up with just 2 legislative weeks left before the self-imposed July 4th deadline. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said that he is willing to keep senators on the Hill through weekends and holidays if necessary. And I spoke with Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures about the timeline for the Senate's passage of the bill. Watch this.
The plan is to the week before the 4th of July to move to the floor in the United States Senate. We're still working on so much of the proposal. We've already identified over $1 trillion in cuts. And it goes beyond waste, fraud, and abuse. There's a lot of corruption out there as well, Maria.
Yes.
Look, the state of California has set up a money laundering scheme, and the Biden administration was all on board with it. It siphoned lots and lots of money from the federal treasury into California to be used for health care, for Medicaid, for illegal immigrants.
Do you feel you have the votes to get this passed, or is it more than 3 people that are pushing back and saying they can't vote for it in this form?
I am optimistic and confident that we will accomplish this for the American people, to make their lives better, to provide the safety and prosperity that they have voted for.
Congressman, do you have any expectations in terms of what that bill looks like when it gets back to the House? I mean, you heard John Barrasso there saying they're going to bring it to the floor for a vote and for debate the last week of June, right before the July 4th holiday, and then send it back to the House.
Well, we wanted to get it done by July 4th, and I'm still hopeful. It's interesting they're going to confer with the Senate parliamentarian, which is always interesting to me. It's just another level of and layer of bureaucracy. Nowhere in the Constitution is there a Senate parliamentarian. Neither you or I or anybody else in America voted for a Senate parliamentarian, but there we are. Bottom line is, I'm hopeful for July 4th. I think it's going to go a little bit beyond that. That wasn't a date set in stone, but it's a good goal. I'd like to get it done. Maria, here's the other big takeaway from this. We worked very hard in the House of Representatives. I was particularly involved with the Medicaid issue and a couple of other issues. We have to be careful. So of course they can make changes. Of course they can put their mark on it. But we struck a real balance. And this is what President Trump wanted. He loved the bill that came out of the House. A real balance in making sure that we protected the social safety net, yet at the same time stop the bleeding and reverse course, put the tax cuts in place, make sure we're going to have a strong military, strong borders, improve our FAA and our federal air traffic control system. It's all in there. Please, Senate, don't screw it up.
Well, Congressman, I mean, as the senators look to cut more spending, they're zeroed in on the SALT deduction, which would raise $350+ billion. You're from New Jersey, which is a high tax state. How important is the SALT deduction to you? Right now, you're talking about there's some speculation that they want to cut what the House did down to $30,000. You know, it's at $10,000 now. The House went all the way to $40,000. Would you still vote for it? Are you comfortable if that SALT deduction goes to $30,000?
I am. I always said the sweet spot was around $30,000 to $40,000, and I would be comfortable with that. I understand where the red states are coming from, but they also have to understand the members that are from blue states. I've tried to be an arbiter in this and kind of in the middle, but yes, I'm not going to nix the whole, and it's a good bill because of that one issue. But we do need to have SALT in there.
You want some deduction above $10,000 is what you're saying.
Correct.
In terms of the Medicaid cuts, how significant a cut are you expecting once the bill gets back to you?
It depends what they cut. I've said this and I'll say it again. Medicaid is not just something for lazy people who don't want to work. The disabled, the senior citizens, working poor, people who are working hard. Our new base, Maria, our new base of people that are in the populist Republican Party. So the bottom line is I do not want to cut any eligible institution or eligible individual that is legal and eligible. I've been clear on that. We struck that balance. We did a good job in the House. And again, I'm going to say it one more time. They should be careful what they do. Otherwise, it's going to come back to the House. Yeah. We're not going to support it if it's not right. And it will have to go back to the Senate again if we change it.
Well, you heard what John Barrasso said, that there's Medicaid money going to illegals in the country right now. So I think that's what his priority.
Stopped.
Yeah. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you, sir.
That should be cut.
All right. We will see you soon. Thank you, sir. Jeff Van Drew this morning.